Okay, and if everyone will please stand for the pledge of the flag. Mr. John, would you lead us?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is the Planning and Zoning Board / local planning agency. It's an advisory board which makes recommendations to the county commissioners who will make the final decision on these items. Items H2, H4, H7, and H10 are LPA items. Items on today's agenda will be heard by the county commission on August 6th, 2026 at 5 p.m. When a motion ends in any kind of a split vote, a roll call vote may be taken to ensure accuracy. As a reminder, each member who makes a motion or a second needs to turn their microphone on so that your voice is on the record. Speakers for public comments on agenda items will be given 2 minutes. Please spell your last name for the record. At this time, if any board member has had any ex parte communication regarding any application, please disclose so now.
So I on item H9, I have had some discussion, but I also do business on an abutting property, so I'm going to recuse on that one, if that's all right. There's some controversy.
Well, what's the basis of the work that you do for the neighboring property?
I own cattle on the property, and I lease it.
I'm not entirely sure that might raise to the level of having to recuse yourself, but by the time we get to item H9, I'll have an answer for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate the heads up.
Thank you, Jared. All right, I need a motion approval of the P&Z minutes from June 15th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by Neil, a second by Erica. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed unanimously. Item H1.
Item H1, Patricia and James Kent request a change of zoning classification from GU to AU. Application is 25Z00045, located in District 1.
Is the applicant here? Sir, if you could come on up to the podium and you can adjust your mic there, state your name and spell your last name for the record.
My name is James Kent, K-E-N-T.
And your address?
Is 5090 Pine Street, Cocoa, Florida, 32927.
All right, and a little bit about what you're wanting to do, Mr. Kent.
Well, we want to improve the property. I'm not sure why the property was ever zoned GU to begin with, but we just simply are requesting a change from GU to AU.
All right, while you're right there, Mr. Kent, does anyone in the audience want to speak for or against this item? I'm going to close it for public comment. I'll bring it back to the board. Do we have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, can I ask a question real quick? What type of improvements are you looking to do on the property?
Namely a swimming pool.
Okay.
I have a question for staff.
Yes, Ruth.
For the AU, isn't it supposed to be 2.5 acres and this is 2.22? Will he still need a variance for that?
I was
How does
under
that
the
work?
impression we were already granted that variance.
The AU requires 2.5 acres. GU requires 5 acres today.
He received a variance in November 19th, 2025, under 25Z00070, a variance to permit .22 acres from the required 2.5 acres.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Item H1, I've got a motion by Ruth, a second by Neil. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Good luck with the county commissioners. This is a LPA item. Item H2.
Item H2, Cocoa Town Center LLC requests a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation from CC to Res 15. Application is 26SS00003 and is located in District 2.
Is the applicant here?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
we're going to read in H3 also. It's a companion application. So
Okay.
Cocoa Town Center LLC requests a change of zoning classification from BU1 to RU215 under application 26Z00010 located in District 2.
And sir, if you could state your name and address and spell your last name for the record?
David Bassford, applicant representative, address 1250 West O'Galley Boulevard, Suite H, Bassford.
Okay, a little bit about what you're wanting to do, Mr. David.
So the subject property is located at the northwest corner of Lake Drive and Cox Road. It's immediately north of State Road 520, there at the Cox Road intersection. It sat vacant other than having been used as a borrow pit once upon a time that at least partially shares stormwater capabilities with the county. Since it's been vacant for so long, one of the things that we'd like to do is get a rezoning and make it multifamily. I'll save the long-winded version in case y'all got questions.
Well, while you're right here, I'm going to take this out to the audience. Anyone in the audience want to speak for or against this item? Item H2 or H3? Then I'm going to close those items for public comment. Seeing that, I bring it back to the board. We got any questions for the applicant?
Is that the piece that's west of what we call Road and Bridge, the county's Road and Bridge, just west, isn't it?
The maintenance facility, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there another piece missing between this piece and what the county owns?
Not that I'm aware of, or at least that was listed on the survey. There's 3 or 4 parcels to the west.
Yeah.
There's a real small sliver that goes out to Cox Road.
Yeah, how deep did you go north to that garage center, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm good.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. Mr. John.
how are you going to handle the traffic going east from that unit, that development there? I've always had a problem when I was visiting the maintenance facility because you can't get out onto 520 very easily.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I thought you were done. Didn't want to
That
cut
was
you
it.
off. So we've had a traffic study done. At the moment, a turn lane's not warranted, but obviously we've still got to work through that with city staff, or sorry, county staff. Apologies, wrong meeting. But we are going to have to pipe a portion of that ditch. And that would help facilitate if we needed an additional, but it would all come out right there onto the road to the south that I'm drawing a blank on the name, and they would go east
You're
first.
talking about Lake Drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you can't make a left from Lake Drive onto 520.
That's correct.
So
You've got to come back further
how are
east
your
and then-
residents going to be able to maneuver?
They will not. It'll all go onto
They
Lake
will
Drive.
not. So
Well,
they can't
I
go
mean, in
that way?
terms of-
Nobody's got a job east of,
No. What I mean is there's no direct access to 520.
okay.
They would come back to that other intersection and enter there.
You mean get over to Cox Road?
No. That is blocked off because of the borrow pit, the way that was constructed. The only thing that'll be there is a little bit of pedestrian amenities. Sorry, not pedestrian, but open space amenities.
So how are your residents going to maneuver?
They will go further east and then come out at that intersection. I don't remember the name of that one off the top of my head.
Go further east?
Yes, sir, on Lake Drive. And then come out to 520.
Oh, okay. Is that Burnett? Yeah, Burnett.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, North Burnett Road. Okay, that's a trip.
I don't
There's no way
disagree.
they can get out onto Cox Road?
No, it's unsafe there at that intersection, or
okay.
where 520 begins to kind of curve up to the north.
Okay. All right, next question. You have a lot of wetlands there.
Surface waters, yes.
Yeah.
Wetlands not that have been identified. But
Okay.
surface waters, yes, for sure.
Yeah, okay, well,
And we
you're
plan
thinking
on-
it just pits from the borough pit?
Exactly right.
Okay.
And while we, anything that is immediately adjacent to the county, in our concept plan and preliminary engineering, we're leaving all of that as is, and then anything else is essentially cup for cup. So if we're filling something to make a road or something like that, we're excavating in the portions that are still dry. They're to the northwest.
Okay, but you're not going to affect your neighbors?
No, sir.
Okay, because whatever water you have on that site, you have to keep on that site?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, it seems to be more of a business zone than residential, so you're sticking an apartment project between businesses, essentially.
Yes and no.
Which is not a bad idea, I mean,
Well, there are other very similar zonings right there within that same area. I think it's within 1,000 feet, sometimes less,
okay.
but it's a nice transitional piece. It's just not feasible from a commercial standpoint, as you've already mentioned. From a traffic standpoint, it's not going to be used for that. So we believe that this is something that's nice there for the community, help actually encourage some of the commercial.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Are we going to handle these as one motion for both?
No,
or
we'll
each?
do H2 first.
I'll move approval H2.
Second.
On item H2, LPA item, we got a motion by Neil, a second by Erica. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed unanimously. I'll need another motion for H3.
I will also move H3 for approval.
And I will second it.
Item H3, got a motion by Neil, a second by Erica. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passed unanimously. Okay, LP item H4.
Yes, item H4 and H5 are companion. Item H4, Sami and Violette Salib, request for small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation from NC to Res 2 and Res 2 to CC. Application is 26 SS 00005. It's located in District 1. And application item H5, Sami and Violette Salib, request change of zoning classification from AU to BU1. And its application is 26Z00015. And it's also located in District 1.
Okay, is the applicant here? Sir, if you could state your name and spell your last name and your address for the record.
Carmine Ferraro, Ferraro, 4265 Couture Road, Cocoa, Florida, 32927.
All right, and a little bit about what you're wanting to do.
Sure. So we are seeking a recommendation of approval for a future land use change on two reference parcels. The front parcel along US Highway 1504 and the adjoining parcel directly to the east, Tract 518. As noted, the current FLU for 504, which fronts US Highway 1, is currently NC Neighborhood Commercial, with the adjoining tract to the east, 518, Residential 2. The property to the immediate south has a Dollar General with a CC Community Commercial FLU designation. Additionally, the tracts along the west corridor of US Highway 1 across the street are a mixture of CC and NC. Two of the four corners at the intersection are CC, including a 10-unit motel directly across from this property that we are seeking the approval. The zoning category we're seeking to match up with this FLU designation of CC is BU1. We've targeted this because our intended target use for the hard corner is a gas station with a convenience store. And then we would like to also have some retail service type property, a small retail service type establishment that would be able to benefit the community. That's basically it.
Okay, sir, while you're right there, does anyone in the audience want to speak for or against This item is going to be item H4. Sir, if you could just grab a seat real quick. If you could just grab a seat real quick.
Is this property in Mims?
The MIMS.
Right across from
Lionel
Yeah,
Road.
I'm in favor. I want him to do it. This is America. I want him to be able to do anything he can. I own the motel. across
Sir,
the road.
hold on, stop 1 second. Let's get excited though. Come on up, say your name and address for the record, and
My name is-
spell your last name.
My name is Donald Clark, C-L-A-R-K. I own Sandman Motel, 3810 US Highway 1 in Mims, Florida, 32754. I own 2 other properties right there next to it, and I am in favor of this man doing anything he can in America. I grew up in a free country. I don't understand some of the stuff that's going on. I've read my Constitution, and I understand it completely. And I feel backed in a corner right now. My neighbor's giving me more shit than I've ever had anybody give me in my life. And I don't want to blow, but I'm telling you, I want this man to have his business.
All right, thank you, sir. Anyone else want to speak for or against this item? All right, I'm gonna, hold on, Mr. Kirk, you're gonna have to state your name and address for the record. No, come on up to the podium, please. State your name, spell your last name, and your address for the record.
James Kirshner, 3630 Lionel Road, Kershner.
Okay,
I'm not totally against the US 1 frontage being left as it is, but the portion to the east that butts up to a new neighbor of mine that just bought the property, did a lot of work, getting ready to build a house on it. My daughter is right next door to him at 3650, and behind her is my other daughter, and both have my grandsons. Behind her, and I've been at 3630 Lionel Road for 22 years. I grew up at 3620. We have Pinewood Elementary School right across the street. And having trucks coming in and out of that entrance where all the schools are, all the school kids are, with the public library, I just don't think is a very good idea. If they put businesses there, they need to get with DOT and have them put some access in off of US 1 by putting a turn lane in and access, but not turning on Lionel Road where you have so many kids. I'd rather be residential so my grandsons have kids to play with, and not have businesses and semis coming in doing drop-off loads. And you're talking about gas stations just contaminating the ground that they're going to be playing in. So I'm against the east portion being changed. Just leave it alone, leave it residential.
okay. Thank you, sir. Anyone else want to speak for or against this item?
Throw another comment out there?
No, sir, you already had your shot. Sorry, though.
All right.
Sir, you had your hand up first. If you could come up, and then I'll get to you. We know the drill now, hopefully. State your name, spell your last name, and address for the record.
My name is William Gondridge, spelled Gonedridge. I own the property at 3660 Lionel Road, directly next to the property in question. I adamantly do not want that property changed from AU to BU1. All right? That means I got to look at the back of some commercial building that I don't want to look at. I bought that property specifically so I wouldn't have to look at a commercial business. I didn't buy it to look at the back of a tire store or gas station or whatever. It depreciates the value of my property. I want to live at that home. I want to make it my home. But I don't want to live behind a gas station or whatever they propose. People in that area bought that property for a specific reason. They like country rural living. That's why they bought property there. And to take that away from someone is wrong. That property that's zoned AU, that's somebody else's dream. They're taking away my dream if they build a commercial building there, and I got to look at old tires, gas stations, or whatever. I don't care what they put there. Don't let them do it. That property is for the community, the citizenry of Brevard County. We bought that property because we like that kind of living out there. We like rural living. And to take that away from me or anybody else is wrong. And that's my opinion, sir.
All right.
All right?
Thank you, sir.
Sorry if I felt a little adamant, but a little pumped.
That's okay.
All right.
Sir, if you'd like to come up and state your name, spell your last name and address for the record.
My name is James Bargeron, Bargeron. I live at 4865 Meadow Green Road in Mims. Now, what I can say to that is, if this man paid the money to buy it, he ought to be allowed to do what he wants to with it. And if you have a problem with what he is doing with his property, maybe you should have bought a bigger piece of property. Maybe the people that don't want it there should have pooled their money and bought the property. But instead, we have a man that spent his money to buy a piece of property that now they want to tell him is useless. I don't think that's right. That don't sit right with me.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, come on up. And if you'd state your name, spell your last name and address for the record.
Angie Banks, Banks. I live on 3701 Dunlap Road. It is parallel to Lionel Road. So our property, our backyard is basically their property. So I'm not studied at zoning or what have you. I just have some things as far as my neighbors are concerned and myself. Most people move to MIMS because they want that small town way of life. They want to retire, they want to raise their babies, they want the rural area that it provides. I agree, they bought the property. Profit and progress can still be made without changing the zoning to commercial. It changes the atmosphere. Bigger than that, the environmental effect, our street, we are all on wells. Putting a gas station in brings a whole other side to it. I realize changes have been made through the EPA throughout the years to prevent contamination, but once an insult or an injury has already been made to groundwater, it's harder to rectify that. So essentially, we're going to wake up with a gas station in our backyard, including all of our neighbors. I don't know if, I know other permits have to be made to put a gas station in because I believe there's so many feet that the pumps have to be from a well. But again, all of our neighbors, our entire street, we're all on wells. We're not city water. That, along with just the added people and, what am I trying to say? I had it all thought out before.
It's okay.
But the biggest concern is, again, the contamination of a gas station being put there. And it's two different things. It's the fact that...
Okay. Well, thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Anyone else want to speak for or against this item?
Baby.
Yes, ma'am. If you could come up to the podium, please. And if you could state your name, spell your last name, and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Brooke Moore, Moore. I live at the address 3640 Lionel Road, which is within 500 feet of this property. Essentially, 2 Bill's lot who already came up and talked, and right next to that. I've lived on Lionel my whole entire life, as well as my dad. I've grown up here, and I've loved living here for the simple fact that it is rural. It is a safe place for, as I was a kid, to be. And I feel like that is obviously going to be changing now, especially if a gas station goes in. I have my son here today. We walk every single day. And during school, it is chaotic already. With the school being there and with the Dollar General, there is a ton of traffic. I also am on a well. I have a huge concern with putting a gas station right next to where my well is, where me and my son and my family, that's how we get our drinking water. I don't know what the plan is for that. I have also heard that people can't even build houses right now because of the whole septic issue. So I'm super concerned, since this is so close to the Indian River Lagoon, what is that gonna be for the aspect of it? Since the Dollar General has been there, the cops are there quite often. There is people always walking in and out. I was in there the other day and someone was shoplifting. So already, living where I've chosen to live, and I've lived my whole entire life because it's comfort, and I have family, and my sister's in front of me, my dad's next to me, there's already a little bit of crime that's already happening. So once you put a gas station and another retail business, what is that gonna do? Am I gonna be able to walk my son every day? Am I gonna be able to walk him across the street to school and feel safe? I just don't feel like, the people who live here, what is my safety going to be like at this point, especially with gas stations? Crime happen at gas stations all the time. And again, the drinking water, I'm super concerned with my well being right here in the drinking water. And I do also want to add one thing. On that next streak on Dunlap and Montgomery, there's already flooding all along US 1. We already have a lot of flooding already, so I am super concerned with that as well. So that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak for or against this item? I'm going to close it for public comment. One more time. Anybody? Okay, I'm closing it for public comment on item H4 and H5. Sir, if you could come back up to the podium.
So can I have a rebuttal?
Yes, you have time to do that.
Thank you. First, let me say everything that all the residents say is taken straight to heart, right? If I lived in that community, I would be saying the same thing. I have concerns. Anytime commercial development comes into a residential area, there should be concerns. However, a couple of things I do want to point out just to sort of balance the record a little bit. This is a 7-acre site. The gas station is a targeted use for the corner, but there is no sales contract for a gas station at this time. The intended use is any approved use within BU1. So it could end up being a restaurant, it can end up being a retail building, it can end up being anything that would be part of a BU1 zoning if we get that use. When the eastern residents say that they are directly next to the property, they are stating absolutely next to the property, but it's 7 acres. And there is, from the corner 1 acre, some 600 feet of distance between the property line to the east. So it's not directly adjacent. However, let me say this, because we anticipated that the residents of MIMS would have concerns, the owner has already agreed with staff's suggestion of presenting a binding development plan. Within that binding development plan, we are willing to go ahead and offer a 15-foot vegetative buffer along the north side of the property, the entire north boundary, along with, if it's permitted by Brevard County and the authorities having jurisdiction to approve a site plan, we will put our pond on that east side as well, creating even a further buffer.
Correct.
Our intention is to use the hard corner. That's the main intention. It's commercial in its nature. That is a full intersection that is commercial in nature. It eventually will continue to develop commercially in nature because that's the way the future land use map shows it. It's already neighborhood commercial and community commercial. Let me address two other really quick points. Traffic. It's a concern. It's always a concern for any kind of commercial activity. We will, of course, do a traffic study. We will, of course, do any of the improvements that are required of us to make that a safe an intersection as it possibly could be. Typically, when development comes in, development enhances the safety of an intersection because they will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to do whatever they need to do to that intersection to make it safer. So that will be part of the process we go through. And then finally on environment, again, I've done this 20, 30 times representing different gas station potentials that are out there. Environment is always a concern. However, in this day and age that we live in, underground tanks are safer than they've ever been. There are redundancy after redundancy. In terms of what type of impact that may have, we would also be willing to do a study and provide that a gas station is not going to create any kind of environmental impact to the water table or anything such, as long as it is built according to state regulations. There will not be any of that. So with all that said, could there be a gas station there? Yeah, it's the intention of the owner to do that. Could it be something else? I want to make it very crystal clear that we would also be willing to offer right now today any restricted uses this board does not feel are consistent with the local commercial area in that, and we'll cross them off the list. We just want to make sure we can bring local type businesses, florists, CPA, small food establishments, anything that would benefit the local community, and hopefully a gas station on the corner.
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
I have,
Seeing that, hold on, Miss Ruth, he jumped ahead of you. Go ahead, John.
Okay. Is this property for sale?
It is currently for sale, so the intention is the gentleman that owns it is intending to sell it, and the people that have contacted us are gas station developers. But there is no contract on the property at this time.
Okay, so they're doing it on their own volition prior to any agreement?
Yes.
Because they've had the property for 40 years
He
and
has.
haven't done anything with it. You had mentioned, so really it's up in the air what they want to do there. I mean, what they expect to be done there, which it's kind of nebulous for me to go ahead with this because I don't know what the final outcome will be. You can BDP this thing to death, but I don't believe that it'll be specific to what actually goes in here. You may be dealing with a gas station right now, but they may come out and say, no, we're not going to do it. So somebody else will come in and they want to do I don't know, what can you do in MIMS?
211 homes, according to
211
FAR.
homes. It's better uses for this than what you're trying under a BU1. You could also do, can you do, what is it now? It's a res too, okay, with the thing. I was thinking about live local also. I'm not real happy with what you guys want to do. And I don't think it's justifiable to just say, let's make it business and so we can sell it. It just, get a deal and then do it. That would be the safer way.
Can I answer that? Yeah,
Surely.
and that's a valid question, a very valid question. In order to get the highest and best use price for the property, I'm a commercial real estate broker, so I've had a license for 40 plus years, and I am a consultant with owners of commercial property. That's what I do 100% of my day. In order to get the highest price for that property, it will be given to an entitled property. If someone buys an unentitled property, they will deeply discount it for the very reason they're not sure they're going to get the entitlement. This particular owner and his family, they have health issues. They are nearing the end of their life on this earth, and they're trying to close out what they have to give on to their children. When they sat down with me and they asked me, what is your recommendation? I said, entitle it. Entitle it now. You work that out, and then you continue to leave it on the market, and you will get the highest and best price so you can pass this on to your children. So we have all of the uses here, and if you wanted to cross any of them off, this binding development plan that we enter into is binding. It cannot be changed, and it will only be those uses in that binding development plan.
I disagree with binding development plans, period, because they aren't binding. Ron handles all that for us. I'm done.
Paul, is a binding development plan breakable?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have to go back through the county commission and have it removed.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. But to the developer, it's binding.
I got that.
Ruth's got it.
Yeah, that's Ruth.
I have a quick question for staff first. If this zoning is approved, and there is a binding development plan, that doesn't stop it from live local and FAR, right? Like the 211 homes that could go on it if it's rezoned to this? or dwelling units, pardon me.
Correct, because that's a state
Requirement. So
a state
rezoning this, no
allowance.
matter what the BDP is, will allow for 211 units to go on 7 acres.
Correct. We cannot restrict or limit
Okay.
the Live Local Act.
I think if the,
I'm not done yet.
One second.
Okay. So council has just let me know that if the property owner is willing to include that in the BDP, that they will not do Live Local on the property, then that would be,
Is that legally binding, though? Because
that would be legally binding. It would be voluntary for the owner to do so.
but if he sold the property, would that transfer to the next owner to prevent that? Because half of that back property is aquifer. North Brevard Mims, and already we all know, has a water shortage, has a water issue dramatically.
The
So
BDP runs
adding
with
that
the
kind of-
land until it's changed.
Do what?
It runs with the land until someone comes back to either remove it or amend it or use it how it is.
Okay. I don't know. I tend to agree with John. I'm not really sure we need a gas station, and I don't really think we need to open ourselves up to another 211 homes as a possibility, even with the BDP. We've seen numerous ones of those come back to be changed just after a couple years. I don't think this is something I could support.
Miss Erica.
Thank you. All right. So yes, and I certainly understand you want to get the most amount for your money. Everybody does. But the thing is that the man owns it and it's zoned as it is. And it has been zoned this way for many, many years. So now all of a sudden we want to sell, we want to rezone. And the only thing that I don't like the entrance where, I'm looking at how the entrance comes in the school. I'm concerned about that. The other thing is, staff has pointed out the proposed request may be considered an intrusion into the residential area as the request exceeds the depth of the current commercial flue designations within the area. So, I don't know if this is a tough one to just say, oh, let's change it, before we sell it.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
It's future land use as neighborhood commercial on the front. It's already neighborhood commercial. You have an agricultural zoning with a future land use of neighborhood commercial. It's not consistent. It's got to go one way or the other. It's either go back to residential, right, or it's got to go forward to commercial. The area is strongly growing commercially.
Only on one piece, right?
On that front piece, yes.
Only on that one piece. So we can't say the whole thing is.
So can I also offer, if this board's recommendation is supportive of the front piece and you don't want to include the back piece, we'd be open to that. We could always bring the back piece back at a later date. So we would be open to, can we do that? Can we amend? Was zoned for commercial for the front piece.
You'd have to change his application.
We can't just approve part of it.
That's the 2.5 acres. Zoned neighborhood, residential, zoned agricultural with a neighborhood commercial.
You didn't advertise
I got them
that way.
talking. Huh?
Yeah, you didn't advertise that way.
Well, while they're discussing that, may I put my 2 cents in, Mr. Mark? Because I
Yes,
live
sir.
up there. I don't think that it's unfounded that the residents especially to the east of the property, because that's the way that the water flows, are concerned with the gas station, because we've all seen during a rainstorm, the rainbow, water headed toward a ditch that is eventually going to make it into the groundwater of these folks' homes. So that is that's a concern. They don't have a choice to use municipal water supply on that road. Everybody's on a well. That whole area is on well. I think, actually, is it Lionel? You probably know. Is it Lionel that is the cutoff? So anybody directly east of this, and there are dozens of homes, have the potential to be affected by that. That being said, also, and I do respect people's property rights a lot, but they did buy a piece of property that had certain limitations, and that's what they own. There are people out there that would love to buy a piece of property that they could put a horse on or a couple of cows or do a small farmstead or something like that. So I don't think that it's an unmarketable piece of property in its current zoning form either. Would it be worth more money commercial? Probably, but also to the detriment of the surrounding neighborhood. That's just my 2 cents.
Staff, were you going to say something?
To your inquiry, we're thinking that if he does just want to do the front piece, it would be cleaner for him to come back with a new application and with the legal description of that piece itself, possibly even splitting that out from the other. So it would be just nice and clean, and we would have the proper legal description of where we're applying it to.
Yes, sir. Neil.
That being the case, would it be best for us to deny this request and have them come back, or table it? I would be interested.
Procedurally, it would probably be cleaner to deny it if that's the decision of the board.
Thank you.
Can I make one final comment before you guys go back to that? So since this owner wants this to go forward this way, then I would like you to vote on it as a whole today, and then we're going to take it to the county commission, because he's paid, he's waited now almost 120 days. And guys, 120 days to this man are precious right now, and we're going to go forward. So if that's not an option, let's just go with whatever this board determines is a recommendation, and then we'll go before the county commission.
All right.
Okay.
I got one
Question.
Where does that's county water, isn't it? That's to the west?
It's all
Isn't there
wells.
water line to the west?
South, Henry.
Oh, is it south?
Yeah, there's nothing north of Lionel.
Okay. So it's 46 then? Is it there at 46?
The plant?
No, the line, the closest line.
Lionel,
Lionel.
which is the southern.
I know where Lionel, yeah.
It does state in
How
staff.
far a pull is that?
I'm not quite sure how far it is, but it does state in the staff report that the subject
long?
property is within access for centralized water and sewer services provided by Brevard County. So
Okay,
they would be able to connect.
okay.
I would,
Well, that solves one of the problems.
I have,
Hold on one second, Ms. Ruth.
please, to Mr. Henry.
I got Eric ahead of you. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I want to ask you a question before I ask my other question. Is the buyer, I understand, a gas station developer?
The buyer that has shown an interest in the property is a broker representing a major gas station developer.
Okay, so my question is then, do I assume that you would not be willing, or the buyer would not be willing to restrict that if you obtain the zoning for a gas station?
Well, the owner of the property right now is the owner of the property. I represent him. I met with him before this meeting on Friday, and he gave me the authority to negotiate what I've just said before you, that we are willing to restrict any uses within BU1 that you want to discuss and you feel might not be consistent.
Including a gas station?
I don't know if he wants to give up the corner for a gas station.
Okay.
No, he won't do that.
Okay.
Ms. Ruth.
To what Mr. Manabu was asking about how close it was to hook up to water. It's not just how close he is to hook up to water. and maybe I don't see anybody, but maybe I don't recognize them from the utility department. I've seen numerous development builds from North Brevard Mims area specifically, East Mims and other locations where the utility has to push back and say, we don't have capacity at this time, that you're going to have to contribute or wait it out until we have capacity. As residents who have, lots of residents who have complained about water pressure, and the plant has been under maintenance for approximately, and please don't hold me to this number, but it's probably pretty close, 5 years, 3 to 5 years. The fire department doesn't even use the fire hydrants to put out fires in our area. So it's not how close you are to a hookup. MIMS doesn't really have the capacity for large hookups until they can expand their plant, which we've been told is quite a few years out still. So it's not just how close it is, it's capacity. And that MIMS plant, to my knowledge, has never functioned at full capacity and is currently at half capacity and has been for forever. I don't think it's ever functioned fully. And the other half.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, 1 second. Wait till she's done, please, sir.
Okay.
So I just want to, it's not just how close you are, it's capacity. And I don't know if there's anybody from utility that can speak to that, but I have seen where the utility is pushing them off and they have to develop in stages. And when capacity comes available, not because it's not readily available.
Okay. Yes, you could respond.
So I just to kind of bring it back to center, this is a recommendation panel to look at a future land use, right? And
Correct.
the consistency, the compatibility with the area, looking at staff's report. There is a secondary process that will get addressed with Ms. Amato's concerns, and that's a technical site plan. You can approve this. The county can go ahead and change the zoning, and maybe there's no development there because there is a fairly stringent process that a developer must go through, and he must check off 20 to 30 boxes with multiple authorities having jurisdiction in order to be able to build something. So it's not like, oh, you approve it tomorrow and it's going to get built. Right. It very well may turn around that it's not buildable for what they want to do, and that's a risk that the owner is willing to take. But I don't know if that should technically be something to look at in terms of your deliberation, whether or not there's capacity for water or sewer.
Nope, I copy. Any other questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, there was a comment made that septic is available out there. Would strongly dispute that. I think the septic is about several miles to the south.
Sewer, you mean, right?
Sewer, don't you? Sewer, yeah. Septic, yeah, sewer.
Right.
We actually get a report from the utilities department. They add in their comments into our staff comments. And if you look on page 3, that paragraph is directly from the utilities department. They do note that the MEMS water plant has capacity as of March 2026. Based on actual connections is 42%. The MEMS wastewater plant capacity as of March 2026, based on actual connections, is at 49%. And so they're stating here that they do have availability for this property to connect.
So just let me
What's the distance? What's the distance from this to their nearest connection point for the sewer? I think it's quite a ways south.
Yeah. I don't have that in front of me
Like
at this
miles.
time. Yeah.
So trying to make a sewer connection would probably be millions of dollars.
Yeah. And again, that would be at site plan as well, so they'd have to make that determination.
And the other thing is the water line does end at Lionel. People in the south have water. People to the north are on wells. So that decision was made. I don't know why we'd want to change that decision. Otherwise, we really ought to be offering all of those residents access to the county water system.
That was my concern, is not if this property would be able to hook to a municipal water supply. It was if a gas station goes in on that property, how it would affect some of the runoff, how it would affect the neighbors that are not hooked up. Dozens of homes to the east, which is the direction that that water flows to the river. So that it wasn't so much this property and would it be able to connect us, it was the downstream effects. So it wasn't mine wasn't related to capacity.
So can I address that? And that's a good point, right? So when a property is developed, regardless of whether it's a gas station, a restaurant or not, a drainage plan would be part of a technical site plan. That drainage plan would have underground piping that pumped any water that's on the site. It would either flow, sheet flow, or it would go to a drain, and that drain would go to a retention pond where that water would be treated and go to an outflow. And it could be a wet pond, it could be a dry pond, but there wouldn't be water runoff just running off of property onto streets or anything like that, because the county will not allow that. So it has to have a self-contained storm drainage plan to meet I believe it's the 100-year storm event. So it's a fairly complex plan, and it also has to be blessed by St. John's Water Management District.
So I do understand that, but because I live there, I don't believe it because I see it. And we've also had multiple 100-year flood events in the last year. So, you know, I mean, it takes one contamination to put forever chemicals in these people's groundwater. I just don't. I can't support it mainly because of that. And also, these folks moved up to MIMS, to this area, bought agricultural land that's surrounded by other agricultural land because nobody's found that spot yet. And that's why they want to live there. And they just want to preserve that. I don't think it's compatible. And is it across the street from Dollar General? Yes. I also don't think that's compatible. These people didn't ask for crime at their doorstep, and that's what that brings. Not to say that the gas station would, but that has happened. So anyway, those are the reasons.
Mark?
You know, I'd like to add to that too, is when you have a pouring rain, that's not controlled. That runs all over the place, runs on the streets, runs on the next door properties, with all the tire marks from the gas station, the spilled oil, the spilled gas that people do, the garbage that they'll throw out. Not everybody's great putting it in trash cans. So I've seen the impacts of gas stations.
Can I make a motion when everybody's done?
1 second, we're still in discussion.
Sorry.
Mr. John.
Yeah, I don't like the speculative nature of this. As a developer that I am, if I'm interested in a property, I have the money to change the zoning and the land use to make it work for me. I don't usually rely on landowners to do it because they don't have the experience that developers have. And this is just too speculative. And I would make a motion to deny.
I'll second.
We were still in discussion. I had Ruth on hold.
She wants to do the same thing.
Ruth, are you good?
I was just waiting for discussion to be over, that's all. I'm good.
1 second. Mr. Neal.
I just want to clarify, if a motion's made, we need to do 4 and 5 separately. So
Yes,
need to
that's
clarify.
normal.
Okay.
Ruth?
Does John want to make the motion and I'll second, or I can make it? I don't care.
I made the motion. to
I second
deny.
it.
I think we had a second by Eric, didn't we?
Correct.
So we got a motion by John, a second by Eric for item H4. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who deny, say aye.
Aye.
The motion
That
is
was
to,
the motion.
the motion was to deny.
I said in favor.
Yeah, and then you
Favor
said,
of-
then you said something else.
Okay, let's redo it. You with me, staff? The motion is to deny item H.
Yeah, let's go ahead and redo it.
Okay, my motion is to deny the application for the land use change,
Item H4.
H4.
The second was first by John, second by Eric. All those in favor to deny.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed unanimously.
To deny.
And so
to deny.
H5 is denied as well?
We
We're
haven't had a
gonna do
motion
that
yet.
next.
That's just H4.
I'll hang out for that. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion on H5 to deny also.
Second.
We have a motion on item H5 by John, a second by Ruth. All those in favor to deny?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
That got
Thank
denied
you,
also.
sirs.
Good luck with the commissioners. Item H6.
Yes, item H6, Anthony Flanaggella. Request change of zoning classification from AU to RR1. Application is 26Z00017. It's located in District 2, also the North Merritt Island District. Voted unanimously to change this, approve it.
Sir, it appears you're the applicant.
Yes, my name is Anthony Falanga. Last name is spelled F as in Frank, Alanga. I'm currently residing at 4365 Piaget Street, Cocoa, Florida, 32927. Went in for a building permit, found out that the property is no longer, please excuse my ignorance, I don't know if it's the correct word, but no longer compatible, because it's now 2 acres of property and it needs to be a minimum of 2.5 to be agricultural. So it was recommended by the board that I rezone the property to rural residential, which is conducive to the area. The property due north of me is rural residential.
All right, sir, while you're right there, does anyone in the audience want to speak for or against this item? Sir, if you could grab a seat real quick. Ma'am, you could come up. And if you could state your name, spell your last name and address for the record.
Yes. Hello, my name is Mary Hilberg. I live at 3780 Sierra Drive in Merritt Island. My last name is spelled Hillberg. And I'm on the North Merritt Island Special Advisory Board. And we discussed this item and was unanimously voted to recommend approval. We think it's compatible with the area and it's in the interests of the entire community.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else want to speak for or against this item? Then I'm going to close item H6 for any public comment. Sir, if you could come back up to the podium. I bring it back to the board. We have any questions for the applicant?
This is for a single home, correct?
It's a 2-acre parcel that's not conducive to the zoning any longer. And the county suggested that I change the zoning from agricultural to rural residential.
Right, and then what? Is there going to be a house built on it?
My plan was to build a home, yes.
Okay. And if you sell the property, that's the idea, is to put a house on it?
I can't speak for somebody else,
Right.
but that's, yeah, it has to go to rural residential in order to get a building permit.
That's interesting. Question.
Yes, sir, John.
So your intent is to build a house yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the compatibility issue came up when you went to the county to say, I want to put a house on this property?
It's a long story. I'll tell you if you want to know the whole story.
Well, not too long. I mean, you know, I've got a date.
I went to the county to get a building permit. And when I got there, they said that the property was not buildable. They said that the road that goes through the property has too many homes on it already. The road was actually an easement. And what happened was over the years, people kept putting more and more easements, and this dirt road has, let's just say 8, I can't remember exactly, 8 easements. And they said they absolutely, positively will not allow another building permit. So it was first suggested to me to put in a variance. And we tried, and then it was brought to my attention that there was kind of an informal change of policy with variances. And then went back to the county, and it was suggested that I get the property to code. So 2 acres is not code for agricultural, and to change it to rural residential so I can at least have the property code. I have, the road problem is still there, and that's another battle for another day. But I do have that documentation here, if you'd like a copy of it, that basically shows I own the house in front of the property. Unfortunately, before I completed it, my life partner and my girlfriend, it's kind of emotional for me, she passed away from cancer. I moved into the home. I was there for about a year, and it was too difficult. Biggest mistake I ever made was I sold that home. Shortly after that, I wanted to come back. We had bought the surrounding property, me and my girlfriend, so we could basically kind of guarantee our privacy. And so I'm fortunate that I do have an adjacent piece of property that has another access. But like I said, that's another story. But I've got the paperwork here if you'd like to see it.
So if we change the zoning on this, would that affect the easement issue that you've got?
That's another, no, it's all.
So why bother doing it if you can't get the easement in order to get on the property?
I can't even go to the next step until I rezone it.
That's called a flag lot overload stem. That's what happened.
Okay.
You're only allowed so many units on the stem, and you guys overloaded
It
them.
was frustrating because we went all the way back to microfiche. The county staff was wonderful. But then, a year later, a neighbor on the same road, built a house, got a permit. I was told absolutely, positively no. And yet, another building went up. I never made a big stink out of it because I don't want to tell somebody they can or can't do something on their own property. It ain't right. But I wish they would have given me that permit.
So if I understand it correctly, this
I'm not done.
zoning request
I'm
has.
not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm still. Yeah, I am too. Okay. Staff, what can he do? I mean, does he have to do the zoning change first before you resolve the flag lot issue?
Right now, he needs to have it rezoned because it doesn't meet the size requirement for the AU. Then he can apply for an access easement after it's rezoned.
So he's not guaranteed that he can get that though, right?
I can't guarantee it.
No.
He'll buy a helicopter.
You have to get it approval to go across somebody else's property and come in and apply for the access easement.
But doesn't that give him an extra expense by having to do it that way? Going, from the zoning change first when he doesn't know he's not going to be able to get access?
We can't approve an access to it because it does not meet the size requirement.
No,
for
I
the
understand
zoning.
that. No, I
So
understand.
that's the reason he's here.
Okay. No, I understand why he's here.
The extra expenses.
I just want to see if you can actually accommodate him on the access issue. I mean, otherwise,
That would
maybe
be
he
a-
should say,
that
I
would be
can't do this.
Administratively done after the rezoning.
Say that again?
It's administratively redone after the rezoning.
So you will grant the easement?
No, he has to come in and
Let me-
apply for it.
Paul, let me
But
clarify.
I understand that, but will you?
So in order for this gentleman to develop his property, it needs to be rezoned to RR1 because he doesn't have the size requirements for the zoning, right?
Got that.
Under section 62102, that deals with access for single-family residential building permits, right? So this individual is going to have to go to his neighbors, secure access, likely through an easement that meets our code requirements, and then he'd be able to get his building permit. So either way, there's going to be costs, it sounds like, associated with this, whether he be getting the easement from his neighbors, which potentially would cost him more because it's up to you guys and the Board of County Commissioners to grant him his zoning change, which is not guaranteed. So either way, it sounds like there's going to be costs associated with
Okay,
development of this property.
That's fine, I understand that. But what he told us was that there's a limit to how many easements that y'all are going to grant on that area. So even if he does the zoning change, he's not guaranteed that he'll be able to get access to that parcel.
Well, he has to work with his neighbors to ensure that the area
Is it
that
the
he-
neighbors that would help him, or is it you guys? I
No,
don't know.
he needs to get an easement from the neighboring properties in order to connect to the public right-of-way. Because he doesn't have
But
frontage.
when he said that they've exceeded the maximum number of easements available?
Let me stop you for a second. It's
Yeah.
two different roads. The property, the one road that goes to the property, that's the access to it right now. It's done.
Can't
Remember-
use that road, is what
No.
you're saying?
No. Well, no, but somebody did.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, but no. When we built the home, we had sold a larger home further north on the island to downsize for that to be our retirement home, the new home. And we had purchased the surrounding properties. So I do have the property to access it. Okay, I don't have to go to my neighbors. So I do have the property to access it. And that's why the county suggested to rezone and to go in, because with me owning the property, I don't have that step. Okay?
So you would be granting your own easement, essentially, because you said you own
All
the
I'm trying to
adjacent
do is
property?
get a 20-foot access to the property so I can get a building permit. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means he can get access? All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Neal?
Just to clarify, he still would have to ask for the easement, but the neighbors that he's going to get their buy-in is himself.
I don't think I have to go to a neighbor.
That's why I was asking staff. So, because of what he's talking about now, that the access is going to be through properties that you already own, does he have to get an easement still?
I still have to get the easement.
But he has to get it from him.
It just depends on the circumstances of the property surrounding his property. Right now, before you guys is a rezoning that deals with, making it compliant with our acreage requirements.
I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody else?
No, go ahead, Jerry.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So the lot that you would use for your access is 0.65 acres? Sound right?
That sounds about right.
And then you own another lot the same size just to the south of that?
And I own 2 lots on the other side. I bought all the surrounding lots
Okay.
that were available around that home.
So since the one lot touches, why not just combine that to this one and have more than 2.5 acres, and then you don't have to rezone it at all? And go through all this?
I went to the county. I think I have to, well, I don't know about that. I went to the county, like I said, originally, I was told I could do it with a variance. And when it took about a year, because it was very difficult at that time to get a surveyor. It was in that boom area where just there was nobody available. When I finally got all the paperwork, I went in, and it was politely brought to my attention that the variance, there was a internal policy that they most likely would not approve it. So then it was brought to my attention to just rezone it, okay, and then use the property that I had, put an easement over the top of it, and I can get to the property. I would not like to start this procedure all over again if I can help it.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a motion? I think we beat this dead horse pretty.
I'm sorry?
Can I make a motion?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion, we approve the rezoning.
Second.
Second.
Hold on, I already had a second. Who was the other second? Okay, a motion by Robert, a second by Eric. All those in favor for item H6, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Since it's behind us, how many under the old flag lot what was that number? Is that 4 or 5?
You can have 2 flag lots side by
Still
side.
back sides?
Mhm.
So you can get 8?
I guess depending on how you configure it, but 2 side by side.
Okay.
And then there's another property to the south there that you can't get an easement over an
yeah, I-
easement, which is that road. But since he owns the other 2 properties that abut the main road there.
Because see, so much of that was flag lot split up there.
Mhm.
His is no, I know all about it. I'm not, he's fine.
Okay, LPA item H7.
Yes, item H7 and H8 are companion items. BT Roads LLC, Padgett Properties Trust, requests a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation from residential 6 to community commercial. Application is 26 SS 00006. It's located in District 5. And item number H8, BT Roads LLC, Padgett Properties Trust, requests change of zoning classification from BU-1-A and AU to BU-2, and its application is 26Z00020, and it's also located in District 5.
Okay, and is the applicant here?
No, don't hand us anything. I don't like when they hand us stuff because we have no time to study it. What's that? Not possible. Yeah. Yeah. What is this?
Good afternoon. My name is Kelly Delmonico. I am a planning consultant on behalf of the property owners and the applicants. 1 second here, if I could get the projector up and running. Okay, I'm here today with Jason Bartlett and John Turner here in the front row with me. They are both with Building Management Systems, or BMS. They have been in this community since the 80s, so for over 42 years now. They've been here on John Rhodes Boulevard. Let me pull up my notes real quick. So this request today, we're looking at two different things. It's a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment as well as a rezoning, and it's split into two parcels. So the first parcel, get my pencil, right here, that's the north parcel, that's 1675 South John Rhodes. So it's a little under an acre. It's zoned BU-1A, and it's been the established home of BMF since 1984. Their success as a local certified general contractor, design, build, and construction management company is resulting in them outgrowing this small property that they've utilized for the last 42 years. If you can see the big long shadow on it too, it also contains a monopole tower. So this aerial image is one with the eagle eye view, so we're looking at it a little at an angle. So you can see the north property that has the monopole on it, and then we're also looking at 1715 South John Rhodes Boulevard. Just to the south there, there's an existing single-family home on it. It has an AU agricultural zoning. So this property was purchased in 2025 by these same folks in hopes of supporting the expansion of BMS. So they're looking to expand BMS and also maybe have a couple extra units for different types of contractor or supporting uses that also support this community. The primary objective of our request for a comp plan amendment and a rezone is to align the property's future land use with its long-standing functional use and proposed future expansion. So currently BMS uses this property for their offices, plus indoor and outdoor equipment and material storage and outdoor covered commercial vehicle storage, all secured behind a gate and a fence. They actually take very good care of the property. It's always super clean and put together, as you can see from these aerials. What is strange about this is that current BU-1A zoning on the north parcel with the monopole does not allow for contractor storage either indoor or outdoor. So how we got here, we don't know. It's been going on for over 40 years. This amendment will facilitate a subsequent rezoning from BU-1A on the north and AU on the south to BU2, which is retail, warehousing, and service business. The change will bring the existing contractor's office and storage facility into zoning compliance and allow for the responsible future expansion of a local established business. Rezoning the south property away from AU will eliminate the potential for its use for agricultural pursuits, processing and sales, and the raising and grazing of animals. Gosh, I'm getting good at this projector. It's always backwards and feels like a mirror. So again, the two requests we have here, so on the right-hand side in the color, you'll see the future land use category. So we're looking at, it's all Res 6 right now. Res 6 and the BU1A is already a little weird. So we're looking at changing both of those properties into CC. And then from the zoning perspective, which is on the left side of your screen, we're looking at taking the BU1A and the AU and converting it to BU2 for the purpose of the contractor's office with indoor and outdoor storage. Now, we understand BU2 does have some compatibility issues potentially with surrounding neighborhood residential uses. So the sheet that I passed out to you today is we did a deep dive into the code and we looked at BU1A, BU1, BU2, and we went through and created this little exhibit because, I mean, there's lots of uses in BU2 we don't want to touch and we wouldn't want to live near it either. So things like seafood processing, recovered materials facility, bottling beverages and ice plants, flea markets, pet kennels, crematoriums, and the like. That is not at all an interest of the applicant and these property owners. So we did also come up with a list, and what they're looking to hopefully accomplish here is, yes, they want to set forth their future home and expansion for BMS that's been there for 4 decades, but they also want to have a couple units in there as well for similar contractor type uses. So we've come up with a list that is a great conversation starter. So they'd be looking for the uses that are allowed in BU1 with other additional uses. For example, dry cleaning and laundry pickup station. We figured no one would get upset about that. Glass installation, plumbing and electrical, testing laboratories, building materials, supplies. Under the uses permitted with conditions, you can't really tell it's in bold, it didn't show up very well, but contractors' offices and storage yards, what they need, that's really what they need here for their business, and then other things that might fit along with them. So the rationale for this amendment is looking at consistency with the neighborhood as well as economic vitality. So the existing use has been established at that location, and the Res 6 designation doesn't reflect the historical or current commercial and industrial character of the site's operation. So this would help rectify that. This would eliminate the split zoning between the newly acquired property and the old property. And it would also support a local industry that's been established and wants to continue growing on this John Road site. The subject property is situated in an area where single-family and multifamily residential uses transition south into commercial corridors along both John Roads as well as 192. The corridor is a mix of unincorporated Brevard County, where we're at, as well as the city of West Melbourne. I have so many maps. I just wanted to bring up this county map as well, because right across the street to the west, you can kind of see the beginning of the multifamily development that starts here and goes all the way over to Coastal Lane. So there are a couple hundred dwelling units there from the multifamily residential. And on the other side of that apartment complex, actually recently constructed, there's an industrial property in West Melbourne over there that has an entire facility of what we'd call flex warehouse. So they've grown out a phase of that, which is kind of a good companion to all of this through there. So things for contractors and spin-off companies to have storage. It's not mini storage, but you work out of those units. Because the business is already established, the change in land use will not introduce new unexpected impacts on local traffic. Future expansion will be subject to standard county buffering and screening requirements to protect any adjacent residential interests. So we did do a significant amount of community outreach in this situation because we're right next to those single-family residential uses that are also established. You can't see it very well here, but that's the map that shows the 500-foot buffer of everyone around it. So what happened is Jason and John on May 29th, they went door knocking to the single-family residences to the north and all the way down the east side, and they talked to whoever they could. They had discussions with a few of those residents there, and, they're like, hey, BMS has been a really good neighbor to us. We don't have any complaints with what you're doing now. We don't have a complaint if you want to expand your business to the South Piece in the future. The things that they heard consistently from their neighbors was, we don't want multifamily. We'd like you to put in an opaque wall or fence for separation, which would happen and is required in code, as well as trees along the common property line, which would also happen, and they're happy to provide those. In addition to them walking and talking with the neighbors, we sent out notices to everyone within 500 feet, and we held a community meeting in open house style in the evening at the BMS office right there. We only had one gentleman come, and it was the neighbor to the north, and when he realized he was the only one there, he left because he just wanted to see if anyone else from the neighborhood showed up. So we sat together for the 2-hour open house and chatted for a while, but we didn't have anyone else show up. I also haven't had any neighbors reach out to me with my contact information. So here's the notice that we sent out. The proposed amendment from Res 6 to CC is a logical connection to the future correction to the future land use map. It acknowledges the 42-year presence of a successful contractor's office and storage, eliminates the logistical hurdles of split zoning, and provides a clear path for a local business to grow. This change is consistent with the goals of the comprehensive plan to foster a balanced, sustainable, and economically diverse community. The requested BU2 zoning, with the suggested changes on appropriate uses, will allow the property owners to properly screen and organize any outdoor storage per county code in order to protect and buffer the neighbors. And with that, we're happy to answer any questions.
Well, while you're right there, does anyone in the audience want to speak for or against this item? That's good news. So I'm going to close it for public comment. Seeing that, I'll bring it back to the board. We have any questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of contract work does these people do?
Would you like to answer that?
General commercial. Okay, thank you. You want to go from BU1A to BU2
Yes,
on
sir.
the zoning, right? And you want to go from Res 6 to CC on the land use. We're doing the land use first.
Yes.
If you go to CC, you can essentially turn this into a live local housing project.
There's no desire to construct multifamily residential here. I think it would be the zoning, the BU2. The BU1A would already allow Live Local Act to happen there today. That's obviously not happening on it. If we rezone the south piece to BU2, it would open the door for Live Local Act, but we're happy to add that to the red X list. That's not of interest to this property owner.
Well, you'd have to talk to Ron about a binding development agreement on that.
Yes.
Why are you jumping to BU2 instead of just regular BU1?
Because BU1 does not allow for what they're already doing on the property, which would be the outdoor component of it. So BU1 allows for contractor's office and indoor storage.
Okay, not outdoor.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list.
Yep, so in order for them to get everything straight with their current site and be able to expand it, we need BU2. We don't need all the uses in BU2, but we need BU2, which requires us to obtain CC. So we're asking for the least we could ask for to help this business stay in this location.
Okay, and you'd be willing to do a BDP on that?
Yes.
To restrict it? Well, I'll let Ron do that. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very familiar with the area. I'm right up the road from you. Well, I know Mr. Turner over here.
Prejudice.
I think it'd be a good fit.
Oh, Ron.
Mr. Chairman, so you'd be willing to put these items in green in a BDP?
Yes, sir.
Saying that you won't do, so you'll be able to do those. I've got two questions. One, would you be willing to put in a BDP that's more restrictive?
In what way?
That says you'll take the BU1 uses, plus you'll be able to do outdoor storage.
We have not, I haven't analyzed the code for that. That would take me some time to analyze. There's a lot of uses, so BU1, let's say, for example, someone wants to come into the county and do, like I said before, a flex warehouse that is open to different types of contractors. You have like your HVAC and your plumbing and all of those uses. Those are all held within the BU1, not BU1A. BU1A is more
I'm not interested in
professional office.
BU1A. What I would like to do is to have a BDP that says you can do any of the BU1 uses.
Yes, great.
And in addition to that, you can do outdoor storage to solve the problem that you're addressing.
So what I have in the green area there, so if this is what you're thinking, so the permitted with conditions and conditional uses allowed in the BU1 district plus those uses in the green, right?
And I'm just asking, would you be willing to accept a BDP that is somewhat more restrictive?
I guess it depends which ones you'd want to see removed from that list. Is there?
All of them except for outdoor storage.
If you're restricting it so much, if building management systems goes belly up, then you've got a dead piece of property. So don't restrict it more than it's necessary.
What it means is that you'll have to come back to the board, whoever would want to buy it or whatever, would have to come back to the board and have a public hearing saying, this is what we want to do.
Yeah, if there's any on the green list that you're concerned with to chat about, we're happy to chat about those, but a lot of these kind of go along. What they were worried about is, I know these are principal uses, but for example, on a piece of their equipment, they might need to change out the glass on something, or they want to be able to make welding repairs. So they were trying to include in here things that they might do on an occasional basis as well.
More than just outdoor storage.
Oh, they've got outdoor storage. They have their indoor stuff because they also have commercial vehicles.
Okay.
So it's a full contractor office and facility.
Okay. Then one other thing. You mentioned about protecting the residences that are to the east.
Yes, sir.
With a vegetative barrier.
Mm-hmm.
How big are you talking about? 15 feet or 50 feet?
Whatever code already requires something. I can't remember if it's 15 or 20 feet. I know that the building setback itself is 15 feet. And a wall, an opaque wall.
I was wondering, were you being willing to have something larger than 15 feet?
Are you like 20?
20, 25, 30, 35?
Not that big, no. The property's not, no, because we'd have to set our building back. But if you're looking for, 5 more feet on the back.
I'll take it.
Can I jump in and ask a question just to help maybe the conversation a little bit? So just by looking at it, the parcels, for easy math, I'm gonna call it 220 feet deep. You're gonna have a drive aisle, parking spots, drive aisle that goes all the way around for fire access, stormwater, swales, et cetera. I think from the buffer perspective, my question would be, it looks like there's a lot of existing pretty nice sized trees there. Is there any opportunity to maybe preserve some of those before we start changing our, grade elevations and putting in the wall and that sort of thing? I think if I were the resident, I would prefer to have the existing trees saved, then put the wall up, and then you guys, slope up and do what you need to do on your side of the line. But is that a possibility? And maybe that helps with the buffer component. I'd rather keep my, large trees than have an extra 5 feet with brand new 4-inch trees that take 30 years to grow.
I just wanted to pull that up so I could take a peek at that.
Yep. And the aerial is a little deceiving, right? Like it's a GIS map on the county appraiser site. So
Yeah.
I know you don't have a tree survey yet, but to the extent possible, is there the ability to look at preserving some of those larger species trees, provided that they're not compromised, arborist says they're fine, all that sort of thing?
Yeah, how many of those trees are actually on your property?
We haven't done the tree survey, but, to sit here and say, oh, we're gonna be able to keep the trees, we're gonna have to do a site plan, we're gonna have to do elevations and ponds and,
Right.
So I can't really commit to say that, the elevations that we're gonna generate are gonna be able to save those trees if we go to backfill they have certain elevations. We'll certainly do any kind of mitigation and pay mitigation banks and credits. But the people that.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, over here to your left. Sorry to interrupt, but could you state your name and get up to the microphone for the record, please? Thank you.
A little shorter. Jason Bartlett, Building Management Systems. So, we can't really commit today to saving the trees. I don't know what those final elevations are going to be. If we're
Right.
going to have backfill up against there, we would be doing any kind of mitigation. From our perspective, we did talk to we knocked on every door behind us. We got about 4 residents. What most people were concerned with was transient people crossing from the apartment complex and some of the other, motels, hotels on that corner, cutting through this property and cutting into those residential neighborhoods where we're going to be building a wall. And everybody was very pleased with that, we're going to be separating that residential area from some of this commercial development. And that's where the people's concerns lied. So for what that's, worth.
Just to bring it back for clarification, so it's really not just outdoor storage. You really need all these that are in green. You need BU2 limited with the BDP to these uses, each and every one of these uses.
Right. Well, for example, like we don't need dry cleaning and laundry pickup stations, but like I can't imagine it's not even a dry cleaning facility, it's just a pickup. So we were just trying to add in uses of businesses that also might join in. But this use specifically, they were really concerned with, glass installation and plumbing and electrical, like companions, welding repairs, like wholesale storage type uses, building materials and supplies, garage or mechanical services for the vehicles that they have, service station, and then like warehousing, which is just storing. The other things, like commercial entertainment and amusement enterprises, that could be like an indoor golf simulator, or they have a really cool indoor golf simulator inside BMS. So they were thinking something like that could be a business that might co-locate with them. So just trying to remove some barriers for uses that shouldn't be of irritation to the neighbors.
Right. So it could be BU2 and then cross off a couple that you absolutely don't need with the binding development plan.
This is basically what we had narrowed it down to. So if there is a use in the green area someone's really concerned with, we definitely would be happy to talk about it. But I think this allows so people don't have to keep coming back to revise BDPs for something that really shouldn't be of consequence.
Well, you spoke with the neighbors, so it sounds like they're not. So.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes. Are you planning on building another building on that property?
I don't want to limit it. Do I need to come
You're a
back up?
contractor.
I don't want to limit it, but yes, I mean,
So it's not just for outdoor storage that you want to change this thing to CC?
well, I mean, I don't know what the future is going to hold.
Nobody does.
He's asking if you want to build on it, like a building, another building expansion.
I can't, right. And
Because
there's no
you're
plan.
asking-
There's no immediate plan for that right now.
Okay, but you're asking for a lot of benefits from the BU2, which would allow you to do that and rent out space to other business enterprises. However,
And-
you're coming in here with a proposal based on you needing outdoor storage, and the BU1A does not allow it. So it's kind of confusing. I get confused a lot up here. because
That
of
is my current need at this present moment. I
Is
really
outdoor
can't speak,
storage.
is outdoor storage. I really can't speak in kind of what Mr. Brother, I mean, it's been in business for 46 years, but if BMS closes tomorrow, I have 3 acres that is unmarketable AU1 or AU. So I don't want to speak to the future or limit myself on the future, but right now, today, my present need is to expand my service. I mean, I have vehicles. You can, there's a residential person there now, but I have heavy equipment. I have vehicles. I have dump trucks. And
What are you doing with them currently? Where are you putting them?
job sites.
You leaving them there and not having them in your home facility?
Correct.
Because you got not allowed?
Correct.
Okay, I get that. It just, I don't know, it just,
I just
I'm
can't
trying
speak
to
to the
see through
future.
the
It's just
fog here.
that is my need today.
Right.
I can't speak to the future for
No,
tomorrow.
I understand that. And I can take that at face value. However, in the back of your head, you could be planning to expand into a different operation. And, we always look at that. People say, we get the public in here and they say, well, what would happen if they sell it and it becomes X? And I never worry about that because everything can happen. But could you do a BU2 without the CC?
No,
Why?
because it's not consistent with the future land use. BU2 needs CC to be consistent.
Staff, true? Okay. Thank you.
Did you want the floor?
I'm about to make a motion.
Yeah, you always is.
Again, we've overcomplicated something that seems very simple. And so I make a motion that we approve the rezoning.
Second.
Okay, now, do we need him to clarify the motion?
Yes, with the.
First is the
With
future land use and
the
the
conditions that are on this list that we were handed.
Okay, this is item H7. And Robert made a motion
The
to.
BDP wouldn't be applied to the small scale, so you need to vote on that one first. And then he can make his motion to include that list on the rezoning.
Say
You
that
just
again?
need to make a motion on item H7 for now.
H7, which is the future land use.
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve the change in the future land use.
Second.
And we had a second, motion by Robert, a second by Anna. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Wait, point of order, is that with the BDP?
No,
No, you don't need
that's,
it.
Future land use.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
that'd be item H8.
Okay, I'm in favor.
Okay, item H7 passed unanimously. Okay, now going to item H8.
I make a motion that we approve we recommend approval of item H8 for the rezoning from BU1A and AU to BU2 with a BDP including the document I'm holding up.
Second.
Staff, are you good with that?
I have one question about that on the green, if I
Hold
may.
on one second, Eric, because
Sure.
we actually got a motion going right now, though, sir.
Right, but he referred to this document, and I have a question on this document.
Do a second and then a discussion.
Can I get a second first, and then we'll go
Second.
for discussion?
Yep, second.
From Anna, okay, item H8, got a motion by Robert, a second by Anna, all those in favor?
Wait a minute, do a
Hold on,
discussion
I'm
first.
sorry. I got too many chiefs up here.
You gotta do a discussion.
I'm gonna hold it for discussion. Eric?
Just had a question. I was looking at the impacts on your green, which all of them are pretty, what I'm just trying to get clarification on, when you talk about service stations, automotive vehicles, and U-Haul services, that's big impacts compared to all the others. Is that also allowed under that particular zoning?
That was the weird, the county has such an intricate list of uses, and I pulled that from BU2.
Right.
Yes. But the ability to work on
Large vehicles
vehicles
in a service.
is
right.
what they want to make sure that they have the ability to preserve. So that's what I pulled out.
But you don't have any interest in that, though?
Yes, they have big vehicles that they do keep up themselves.
Right, but we're talking about U-Haul here, and we're talking about automotive services.
That was just the use from the BU2.
Okay.
That
so
language came from there.
I guess we're okay. All right, thank you.
Then, you done, Eric? Then would you strike some of those that are on your green list?
Like U-Haul service?
Yeah?
We'd rather just leave, we'll just leave it. There's no desire to do it, but I think we'd
Well,
like
I
to
think
just
you
move
put a
forward.
And again, seem to have a desire to limit what can be done here, even though it will probably never be done. But if it should need to be done, then you've limited it and you don't see the future. So it's a very good agreement as it stands, and there's no need to fiddle with it more.
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Robert, you done?
I withdraw any
Done.
concern.
Mr. Neal?
I'd like to call the question on the motion.
So we're going to back up. We have a motion by Robert on item H8, a second by Anna. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
All right, thank you, everyone.
Got H8,
Excuse me,
or
who
is that
opposed?
H8?
John Hoppengard.
I did. I don't believe it. Yeah, that's what it looks like. If you don't have time, you can go somewhere else.
Okay, item H9.
Hold on, Paul, hold on. Mr. Atkins,
Yes, sir.
based on your question and your disclosure early on, I would just suggest that you abstain.
Okay.
And then we'll give you the necessary paperwork. It doesn't seem like a mandatory abstention, but just based on the circumstances,
Understood.
the
Thank you.
appearance of it. Thank you.
Item H9, Sandman Outdoor Storage, request a change of zoning classification from BU-1 to BU-2. Application is 26Z00021. It's located in District 1.
And sir, are you the applicant?
Yes.
All right, if you'd state your name, spell your last name and address for the record.
My name is Donald Clark, C-L-A-R-K. I own 3850 US Highway 1, Mims, Florida, 32754. I own 3 properties right there in a row. I'm here to talk about 3850 today. I'd like to change it from BU1 to BU2 to do outdoor storage of boats and RVs. I'm working with Jacqueline on my site plan right now. There is a question of my fence was on my neighbor's property for a second, and I moved it. And he's turned code enforcement into a vendetta against me. After he tried to extort me out of $375,000, he told me I would buy his property or he was not going to allow me to have the business there. And I told him I would never give him $300,000.
You got to stay here with the microphone,
Sorry.
please,
I
because
told him
we
I
got
would
to
never
put you on record.
Yes, sir. I told him I would never give him $375,000 for the property. And he told me, well, don't do it yet. Don't move the fence yet. Let me go make some phone calls, and I'm going to try to sell you a 3, 4, 5 foot strip there so you don't have to move that fence. And I said, that's ridiculous. I've come to grips. I'm going to move it. So the next day, he shows up there. I've already moved it. And he starts filming me, going crazy, screaming, yelling. He's going to call the state, going to call code enforcement. Code enforcement shows up. I do have a fence permit. I thought it went around the back. It does not. I have an amendment to it right now. I let the state of Florida or Brevard County use my property to stage to repave US 1. In doing so, they had me sign a contract where they agreed to put in a driveway for me for use of the land for the year. And also on top of that, I've sank money into it because part of it, I have a contract. They put a driveway in for using the property. Then they needed to use more property. So they came to me and they said, well, if you need more millings, we need to use more property, we'll split the difference. You can buy millings from us for half price. So I bought more millings. Well, I'm about $82,000 into this, and now my neighbor's here to oppose me. So I was $90,000 into architectural drawings when, I'm glad you said what you said, building a motel addition 7, 8 years ago. And it was turned down by the assistant fire marshal. Paul can attest to that. It was turned down by the assistant fire marshal because he said I was going to have to bring water from behind Dollar General or across US 1 and put a fire hydrant in my yard before they would approve me getting that permit for the motel, which I'm not here about that. But she says they don't even use the fire hydrants. So they stopped me after I spent $90,000 on architectural drawings and told me I have to put a fire hydrant in. The assistant fire marshal, not even the fire marshal, the assistant fire marshal. And I was on my way to my mother's funeral that day. It was a big community call, and I told him I didn't even want to deal with it. Anyway, I spent $90,000. Now I hear they don't even use the fire hydrants. That's crazy to me. I mean, I know that's neither here nor there. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here about 3850. I'd like to be able to use my property. I've paid $65,000 in property taxes since I bought them properties there in the last 11 years, and my property taxes have doubled in that 11 years. Actually, they're over double. I pay $6,700 a year to insure that property so the kids don't go on that property and do donuts and break their leg, and that's why I'm fencing it in across the end there. And he's just trying to give me problems. He's turned code enforcement into a weaponized thing here. Because code enforcement told me that they don't come out unless somebody calls code enforcement on them. So they don't come out and inspect nothing unless somebody calls. So it is a weaponized thing that they've done with code enforcement, and he's using it as a weapon over here. He's tried to extort me out of $375,000 to buy the property. Then he told me, he said, nope, I'm gonna sell you the other property, let me come up with a price. He told me he's got an inn down here, and that's why I'm glad you recused yourself. Thank you so much. This is my neighbor. Well, I thought he was my neighbor. He has the cows on the neighbor property. When the cows get out, his fence was in disarray a year ago. His cows kept getting out. I doubt he pulled a permit to do his fence. Punk Roads dug his pond and told me he didn't pull a permit.
Sir, you got to
pond.
get back
Sorry.
and let's.
Sorry.
Let's don't
All right.
get off track here. We're
All right.
here to go from BU1 to
Yes, sir.
BU2 so you can get outdoor
So
storage.
I'm praying
Correct.
for him. I'm praying for everybody. I'm a good man.
So, okay. So anyhow, let me go back out in the audience here. Anyone want to speak for or against this item? Okay, sir, if you'd come up, state your name, spell your last name and address for the record.
Once again, James Bargeron, Bargeron, 4865 Meadow Green Road, Mims, Florida. Now, the issue that I would like to raise some attention to is the fact of the millings. The millings in this whole situation where now they're saying this guy wants them removed, okay? Apparently there was an issue of permutation or whatever the fact may be. They supplied portion of the millings for use of the land, Brevard County, okay? So by them doing that and then him stabilizing the land that they were using with that, they have now created an estoppel situation, okay? Are you familiar with estoppel?
No, sir.
Basically, they agreed to something so they could use it for their benefit, and now they're trying to renege on it and take that land, take that use back and say, you need to pay us a permit now. When they negated that, when they allowed him to do it so that they could park their vehicles without sinking. Now, the second thing, the only time that a permit is needed for millings in Brevard County is if it does not, it has not ever been a stabilized driveway, if there is a variance to the easement or the right-of-way, which he has neither. There was already a gravel driveway there, okay, dirt and gravel, all right. It was used to stabilize that so these county trucks wouldn't sink in it, and now they're trying to pull back on him and tell him he needs a permit, all right. So we've created an estoppel situation, which is also, punitive by court, so it can go to court, okay. Now, with that, not only do we have that, we have a situation where he stabilized this ground. In Brevard County, there are many, many driveways out there that as long as they are an existing driveway and it is not pervious, it's not concrete or anything like that, it's not impervious, it is not required to have a permit in that area. So why are we even here? We're here because somebody has tried to use this county as a weapon. That's why we're here.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. Anyone else want to speak, sir? If you would, come on up and state your name, spell your last name for the record.
My name is Brent. Last name is Fowler, Fowler. I live at 3883 McCullough Road. I am the adjacent landowner. Just so we're clear, I'm not trying to cause anybody any problems. I just feel like that things need to be approved by the guidelines that are established by the county. Some things have not been followed to this point. Part of the property that we're discussing here is the millings aren't really being discussed as much on the applicant paperwork, But since he's brought it up, the millings are of concern because the adjacent lot to this request is an agricultural lot. It is zoned AU. The millings have been put over the entire property, not just a little bit. I'm wanting it to not be changed from BU1 to BU2 because it appears to me, in sitting in this meeting and heard what I've heard from some very well put together presentations, that BU2 carries an extremely wide use, extremely. And therefore, even isolating it back to just a storage for outdoor storage, and I've heard some input about trying to restrict the uses, but now we're opening it up to vehicles can be worked on there, other things can be done. Some things have been brought to light to me by being in this meeting, and I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to come. I have been more educated by being here than I was by not. The general public generally is not as educated as they should be about the things that are being presented. With that being said, I won't take up any more of your time. I thank you for allowing me to speak.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Anyone else in the audience want to speak for or against? Sir, you already had your shot, but thank you, though.
Falsehood said there, it does not cover the whole property, it covers the parking lot portion of the property.
Hey, you said your opinion, he said his, he said his. Anyone else in the audience want to speak for or against the item? All right, I'm going to close that for public comment. Sir, if you want to come back up, and you're wanting to go from BU1 to BU2?
Yeah. It's only the couple acres of I think I have 7 acres there. It's only on 2 acres. It's not even covering 2 full acres, I don't believe, so. I do have a survey showing it all.
Seeing that, I bring it back to the board. We got any questions for the applicant?
I guess I do. So I'm wondering what the status is for the land clearing, what you're talking about, the code enforcement for land clearing on the property in 2020. The case is pending, is what it says.
2020, oh yeah. Okay. Matt Smith from Tree Smiths came out because I had a bunch of dead trees out there, and he told me I had a bunch of pine borer beetles, and he gave me a thing, and he says recommendation was have these trees removed. I grew up in Michigan. I had never heard of getting a permit to remove a tree. I went out and took out the bad trees. So yes, I did take them trees out.
So it's still pending?
Yeah, my wife told me it had been closed. She had talked to somebody about it. She does all the paperwork and everything. I'm half dyslexic, literally. I'm not just saying that, but I am. And so she does all the paperwork. So okay. I thought it was closed out.
Staff, it is still pending?
And if you, I'll also add, when code enforcement was out the other day after he called him, he said that there were some other tree issues. If you look on the aerial views, you'll see I took them palm trees out and planted them right along the front of the road. They're right there. So I didn't just remove them palm trees.
Okay, but I guess my question is for staff. So this, the code enforcement from 2020, is that's still pending? The land clearing?
Unfortunately, I was not able to remote in, so I don't have access to that system right now to be able to answer you. Sorry.
That's okay.
Mr. Ron.
Mr. Chairman, would you be willing to accept a BDP?
I'll do a binding development thing for boats and RVs only. Yes, sir. At 100%.
Would you be willing to include, because with FAR, with local act, it would allow for 44 dwelling units on this property, which is one of my major concerns when you upzone to BU2.
I've already wasted $90,000 on architectural drawings to find out that they're not going to let me do that unless I spend another $500,000 to bring water over.
Can you make sure you speak into the microphone so we can pick it up?
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, no, I don't have any intentions of building any houses over there. I'm just going to do boat and RV storage, period.
Yeah, if that was included in the BDP, that would make it more favorable for me.
Okay, very good. Sounds like you got two votes.
I just wanted to quickly ask again.
Hold on
It
one
sounds like we've
second.
got,
Eric, Ron, were you done? I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
we can make a motion whenever you're ready.
Okay, 1 second. Miss Erica.
I have a question for staff. That you have some more information, it sounds like, about the
Yes,
tree
ma'am.
clearing?
Miss Erica, I do apologize, but it is in the staff report that the Natural Resources Code Enforcement case is still active. It is pending.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Erica, you.
What does he need to do to get that taken care of?
That's a great question. What is that, a whole team of code enforcement over there?
No, it's not. It's natural resources,
Okay.
and they're leaving. While they're coming up, Mr. Chairman, staff, what's the drainage situation on that site with all the millings?
I've already got a retention pond there. Everything drains perfect.
Where is your retention pond on that site?
It's in the back corner there.
But it's not on that site. It's on adjacent site.
Yes, it's on my 3810 property.
Right, but we're talking about this one property.
Well, there is a little spot.
You
there
have
that-
to get to the microphone,
Sorry,
sir.
I keep walking away. I'm hard of hearing too, so I keep trying to get closer to you to hear is what I'm doing. I also have a spot right there in the back where it drains right down. I've had no problem. We just had a massive downpour the other day, and it just all went right to that little spot. And it's on that same property, so I have plenty of drain retention on both properties. In fact, his farm field, and bring you all over there, I even let his farm field drain into my yard. His farm field, when, Punk Roads dug his pond out, and Fred Custard bulldozed it out. Bobby Hussey told me he did not get permission to drain on my land. His property drains onto my land. I'm okay with his property draining onto my land. I don't have a problem with that man or anything he does. But I have plenty of retention. I've got great drainage. The men they did a road company out there, fixed my whole property for me. They told me I was going to be able to go in and be a piece of cake. I had no idea any of this was going to happen. My property drains perfect. They already put everything in. And it's just like an asphalt driveway already. I mean, it's packed. They graded it, packed it, rolled it, everything. It's done.
So it's a parking lot?
It is a parking lot. Yes, sir. It is a parking lot. And not back in the woods. He said it went all the way back, and I just want to correct that. It doesn't go all the way back. I've got 50, 60 foot of trees there. It does start into the front of the tree line, but there's a big tree row that goes along that whole back of that property that abuts his property. It's 50, 60 feet of big trees, massive trees. It's not all the way back there. It goes partially back a little bit, but
Okay.
that's where they stopped.
Mr. Ron.
I'm going to make a motion.
I just, a point of clarification. I'm trying to understand, as I looked up some of these zoning regulations, the difference between BU1 and BU2 is the impact of various commercial businesses. This man is using his property as like boat storage and RV storage. And so why is he looking for a B2? Just so I understand what I'm voting for. How does that change his current operation?
BU1 does not allow outdoor storage. So
B-
BU2 would be that limited to the boat and RV
I
storage.
got you, thank you.
So we could do a BU1 with an outdoor boat storage within a binding development plan, and that would give you what you need.
Anything you guys want to do, I'm easy to
you do
go.
that
I'm the
or no?
easiest guy in the world to get along with.
We need to ask staff that.
Okay. And that's a question for staff. And they're still looking into how he's going to finish the land clearing code.
Do we
enforcement.
have to go BU2 limited to only boat and RV storage?
You don't have to, but you're going to have BU2 to do the RV and boat storage.
There you go.
You
Okay.
can't do it in BU1.
So, Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend approval with a BDP, that restricts provides all of the BU1 uses and adds the outdoor storage from BU2, and
Removes the FAR of 44 dwellings? The live local, the FAR for 44 dwellings, FAR? Restrict it, yes, so that there's no 44 dwellings.
Well, technically, he's BU1, so he could do that right now. Because it's commercial.
It floods. There's a massive flooding problem to the west of there, specifically along the railroad. I could go in much great detail if you would like. And then there's the water restrictions. While I realized that the report said there was 49% capacity, that was not the percentages that I saw like a year ago when I looked at the actual numbers. And again, the flooding along the old railroad trusses, because I'm not really sure what the disconnect is. There's major flooding through Quail Haven, the whole thing. To raise that up to code is going to put property above everybody else, and then it's going to consistently cause more flooding that's going to go directly to the west, and it's going to continue to make things worse. That's why I am against additional dwellings on that property.
Oh, additional dwellings, okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem with no dwellings. Yep, sorry.
Okay, thank you, Ron, again.
Does staff understand the motion I made?
If I understand, Mr. Barcher, it is all BU1 uses plus the use of outdoor storage in the BU2 zoning classification only. And no live local based on Miss Amato.
Yes.
Okay.
What was the last thing you said?
No live local act, which were the dwelling units at 44, all that.
I don't even know what that is, so.
Question first for the, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Can the county restrict live local? It's a state mandate.
Yeah, this item came up earlier today. I mean, I think the county's position would be if it's voluntarily entered into by the property owner, then they can restrict themselves however they like to. Whether or not we end up in court over it, that's another question, but.
Well, I don't want to end up in court over
I knew he was going to say that.
All right, we should be fine, I guess.
I don't know what.
I knew you were going to say that. I really did.
I don't want to have to deal with any court stuff.
A BDP is a voluntary agreement. They would be subjecting themselves to that regulation. So
Okay.
that would be our position.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Got a motion by Ron, a second by Ruth on item H. What is that?
9.
H9. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed unanimously.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to pray for you guys. I hope you have a beautiful blessed life.
Okay, LPA item H10.
Yes. Items H10 and H11 are companion items. H10, Jeanne A. Benson and Arthur W. Berger Jr. Trust request a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation from neighborhood commercial to community commercial. Application is 26 SS 00007, located in District 2. And this item was denied by the North Merritt Island Board. And item H11, Jeanne A. Benson and Arthur W. Berger Jr. Trust request change the zoning classification from AU to BU-2. Application number is 26Z00022 and located in District 2. North Merritt Island didn't vote on the item H11 as they denied the item H10 for the future land use change and didn't feel it was appropriate to vote on that one as they couldn't get the BU2 without the CC.
And sir, are you the applicant?
Yes, I have two items before the board this
If
afternoon.
you could state your name and spell your last name and address for the record.
Yes, sir, of course. I'm John Campbell. I'm a land surveyor. I practiced in Brevard County for 56 years. My address is 115 Alma Boulevard, Merritt Island, Florida, 32953. Again, I'd like to express that I'm,
Can you get closer to the mic, Mr. John?
yes,
You
I'm
can
gonna
slide that,
have,
you can slide that thing up to you too, if you need to.
Yes, sir. I have two items before the board tonight. One of them, my client has advised me that he wants to pull item H10 from the agenda and not pursue approval for that this evening. We met with the North Merritt Island Dependent Board the other day, and we didn't get very positive vibrations from them, and decided it was not the time to pursue that case. The second case I have before the commission, or you folks, is I represent Robin and Maxine Bland.
John, that one needs to be heard later on if you're trying to hear.
I'm sorry, what?
Item number 13 needs to be heard after we have item 12 heard. Right now, he's just representing item H10 and H11.
10 I want to pull from the agenda.
And 11?
And
Yes, 10 and 11 you need to, he wants to.
Okay, so,
Don't we need to take a vote on that?
He wants to pull it, pull it.
Yeah, John wants to withdraw those two applications, Art Berger's property, correct?
Yeah, my client wishes to pull the application and not go forward with it.
Yeah.
Alex left. He could just
clarification,
withdraw,
do you
right, and
plan
not
on-
have us do anything.
Do you
Sir?
plan on bringing it,
Pardon me?
so you just want to completely withdraw, and you're not planning on bringing it back?
My client wishes to not go forward with it. I don't know what else to say. He's my boss, and he said he didn't want to do
I
it,
would
so.
consider that a withdrawal.
Yeah, he just wants to withdraw H10 and H11.
Withdraw it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next thing, Paul, I have,
We have one before you.
There's one more item
Hold
before
on
you
one
can.
second, one second.
sure.
Guys ready for retirement? Joe Biden.
Counselor, are we good?
Yeah, apologies, but yeah, it sounds like the applicant withdrew their application. So.
Item H10 and
Okay,
11.
no further actions needed, no, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, item H12.
Item H12, ABRS LLC requests zoning classification change from BU-1 to BU-2. Application is 26Z00024 and is located in District 2.
Landon Scheer, address 1361 Highway A1A, Sally Beach. This is a unique request for us. The owner is proposing mini storage on this parcel. There's already been a site plan application submitted, 26 SP 00014. BU1 allows mini storage. BU1 allows metal buildings. However, the way the county code is written, BU1 does not allow mini storage as a metal building. And so in order for my client to develop this parcel as a mini storage and use the construction type as a metal building, we need to rezone to BU2, where metal building is allowed for a mini storage building. These mini storage buildings are just your classic roll-up door. None of them face Courtney Parkway. They're all on the interior of the drive aisles, and they're 8 feet tall. They're not climate controlled. There's no utilities stubbed to them, no water, no sewer. Your classic just mini storage building, and the industry standard is for these to be metal buildings. He's done one or two of these out of state, and he's looking at moving to the area and wants to build one here. Like I said, it's permitted in its current use, but the construction type to use a metal building is not allowed in BU1, and that's what we would like to do, is build these as a metal building.
Sir, while you're right there, Well, there is no one, but does anyone in the audience want to speak for or against this item? Sir, if you could just grab a seat in the front row. Ma'am, you could come on up.
Yeah. Well, the other one was on the corner. Yeah, but this guy here, remember? Oh, yeah. A lot of activities. Where else do you get?
Hello again. I'm Mary Hillberg, Hillberg. I live at 3780 Sierra Drive in Merritt Island. I'm on the North Merritt Island Special Advisory Board, and we heard this item. And with much discussion, I would like to use this if I could for your, do I have to turn it on?
No, they do.
No?
No, there it is. Okay. Oops. I don't know. At any rate, this is the depiction that was given to us, and he said that this was his site plan. And as you see, it's all covered in metal buildings and garage doors. And there's the section on to the left of it, as you're looking at it, is the water area. The area that's
the retention
the
area.
retention pond, yes, to hold the water. But that's a lot of hardening in an area that is not particularly the area of North Merritt Island there is not particularly hardened. So the board, however, requested that he do a BDP. Although we don't care for BDPs because they're not being, they don't bind. But to do a BDP to restrict his uses to only the BU1, as one of you, I forget who it was, mentioned to a previous applicant.
Right.
And the only, so that you don't use all the BU2 uses, just the BU1 uses and the metal buildings that he's asking for, to limit it to what he wants, rather than to make it a BU2.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
I have a question real quick, if I might, maybe for staff.
Public comments not over.
Oh, there's nobody else here.
I'm here.
Okay,
I gotta
sorry.
close it.
Sorry.
He's gonna.
Anyone else in the audience want to speak for or against this item? I'm closing it for public comment.
Now you can.
Jared?
Is there any difference between going from BU1 to BU2 and then dragging it back to only allow one use, or doing a CUP when it's already BU1? I mean, it seems like I don't know if that's even possible.
So CUPs have specified uses that are allowed under zoning classification that would require going through a public hearing process also, but again, it's limited in what the uses can be.
Right, but if someone said they wanted a CUP for outdoor storage on a BU1, does it go that way too? Or does it only go
It's not an
backwards?
allowable use under
Okay,
BU1,
okay.
even under CUP.
All right,
Yeah, thanks.
that was my question. I keep seeing these go across, and I've been wondering that. Thanks.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. John?
how do you propose to get access northbound on Courtney?
There's an access easement that was given to us by the property owner to the north.
And that's that site that was going to be a convenience store, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
If it's not there by the time we need it, we have to build that driveway, if that's your question.
no, I want to know how you're getting across the median.
If
If you can't get that easement,
the easement's in place.
you already have that
Yes.
approved?
Mm-hmm. Easement's
Okay.
in place. It was approved with the Dollar General site plan and recorded. We have the public document, the ORB and pages on the survey. And we're not,
I mean, that kind of kills that site, does it not?
No, they accounted for it to give us access. They did it voluntarily without our request.
I don't have it all on this sketch.
Yeah, that like I said, the use is allowed in BU1. There's already a site plan that's submitted. We're under review. We're purely asking for it so that we can use a metal building We have no issue with the BDP to just allow for mini storage. We don't have any intent for outdoor storage. It's,
No, I'm just talking about access, not
yeah,
outdoor
yeah,
storage.
the access is going to be through that access easement there. Maybe the ORB page is kind of small for you to see, but it's a recorded document.
Okay. In case you didn't know, I do not like public storage because it doesn't generate any jobs for anybody.
Sure.
And it just takes up land that could be used for something else. There's a large development going to go to the west of that area that they've been working on for, what, 3 years, I think? 5. 5, sorry. And I don't know if they're going to appreciate having an eyesore on Courtney, which that will become. So I'm against it. Like I said, I don't like public storage. I don't think that they benefit the community.
Sure.
And especially in this rural area. I live up the street, okay? It's a rural area, and sticking I don't know how many units you were going to put in there, but I don't believe it's compatible with the area. These are residential all around.
It's allowed in its current zoning.
I understand that.
Okay.
I just,
And there's, like I said, the buildings are only 8 feet tall, so they're not massive buildings. And we have a pretty extensive type B buffer that we are required along Courtney. So, I mean, at planting, they have to, all the shrubs have to be 3 feet in height. And
yeah,
you
but 3
can-
feet isn't going to hide an 8-foot building.
I mean, over the time it will. Once
Depends on
they
what you
grow.
put in there. Anyway, sorry, I don't like it.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Can I ask just a quick question? Maybe this is silly. So you're only asking for the BUT because of the building material type?
Yeah, and it's.
Is there an opportunity, instead of doing a rezoning, can you ask for a variance, or is that?
I think we discussed that during our
Was that-
DRM, and I don't know if that was an avenue we could pursue unless,
That would be a use code, so I don't think that we get a variance
Okay.
to doing, changing it from that.
Curious, thank you.
yeah, and it's just,
So it's an approved use, it's just literally a material?
it's literally material, and
Thank you.
considering it's not climate controlled, there's obviously no utilities, so it's just a magnitude of 2 to 3 times more to build it traditional rather than metal building.
So, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Applicant, are you willing to consider a BDP that will
Absolutely.
restrict?
Yeah.
Okay,
So we will restrict it to only mini storage and BU2.
okay. I so move.
I'm going to need a motion, Ron.
Okay. I thought I made
Be
one.
sure staff gets it.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend approval of this change with a BDP that provides all the B1 uses, and the only BU2 use is the development of this metal self-storage mini warehouse facility.
So I got a motion by Ron, a second by Eric. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, item H13.
Item H13, Robin R. and Maxine M. Bland and Tara Brozman request a zoning classification change from GU to RR-1. Application is 26Z00016, located in District 1. This application was tabled from the June 15th, 2026 Planning and Zoning meeting.
Okay, Mr. John, you know what to do.
Good afternoon. I'm still John Campbell. Tonight I represent Mr. and Mrs. Robin Bland. Mr. and Mrs. Bland own a piece of property in the western Cocoa area. It's an area that's predominantly large rural lot subdivisions. The existing zoning now on the site is GU, which is interim zoning unzoned. We're requesting to go to RR1, which would be rural residential, 1 acre. However, we only want to divide the 5 acres into 2 tracts, 2 2.5 acre tracts. We feel that it's more compatible with the neighborhood, and the blend's one larger homestead. So we respectfully ask that you approve this subdivision. The surrounding area is R1, and again, large rural lots. That's the way we intend to keep it.
Okay, sir, while you're right there, anyone in the audience want to speak for or against this item? I'm going to close this item for public comment. I'm going to bring it back. Mr. Neal?
I was wondering why it was tabled, but it was answered down here.
Okay. I'll bring it back to the board. We got any questions from Mr. John?
I make a motion to approve.
Yes.
Second.
Okay, item H13. We got a motion by Ruth, a second by Neil. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
That passed unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Campbell?
John.
They're calling you over here.
Over here, John.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Good.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.